Behind the fog. The short version is that my wife gives me the I love you but not in love with you speech, then things go downhill quick. She is very wishy-washy and wants to have her cake and eat it too. There's an EA that turns into a physical affair. Then she stops, then restarts it a few times. She wants me, then she doesn't, then she does. You get the idea. Anyway, I have been journaling since this all started, and decided I would share it here. February, how did I get here? Sitting at a bar, alone, drinking water and watching the Super Bowl. I haven't watched this in over 5 years and now I am. I should be with A, but I'm not. Life has a funny way of sucker punching you right in the stomach when you least expect it. Over the last few years, I have been growing my heart and the ability to cope with stress. This is different though. I wasn't prepared for something like this. It's deep inside my core, like somebody close has died or something. I am trying as hard as I can to be supportive of her. And how she is working through her feelings. Oh, I wish I could go back in time, to when things started to become difficult for her. I wish I did more to show her that she is appreciated, that she is beautiful, and that I really can pull my own weight. I wish that she would look at me the way she used to when we were fresh in love. Habits that I have carried since I was a child have now come back to haunt me. Sometimes I feel like I'm about to have a panic attack. My heart starts racing and my mind starts to fill me with dread. Part of me feels the way I used to feel when I would have a crush on a girl. And I knew I couldn't have her. Back then I was not brave enough to put myself out there for fear of my hopes getting crushed. The feeling is the same, it's just that now I can't take no for an answer. I can't just hang up 11 years of my life. I am at least happy that she has not said that she is done for good, but sometimes I just wish she would just decide for good. For now, at least then I would know, and if she decided she didn't want me then I start the long, lonely road out of this chapter in my life. I will wait for as long as it takes, but it is so hard to wait and not know how she is feeling. February 6th, hard to accept. Love. I found out last night, after I came home very drunk, that she wasn't wearing her wedding ring. I asked her about it today, and she said she has not been wearing it for a couple days now. I sat up for hours waiting for her to get home to make sure she got home safe. Only to once again have my heart broken again. I thought I had felt the worst of it, but then this, how much worse can it get? She still hasn't officially said it's over yet, but I can't help but feel like that news is right around the corner. I wish I knew what I could do to help her want to choose me. I just hope and pray that she gets whatever this is out of her system before it's too late. Our second marriage counseling session is today at 4. On a positive note, home, 12:38 p.m. I have been keeping myself busy with housework. I have all the laundry done and put away, vacuumed, swept, and did dishes. Today is the worst day of my life. 1:42 p.m., 6:09 p.m. Our counseling appointment went well today. After the initial shock wore off, I was able to start processing my emotions. I was also able to share some things with Amanda about how I have been feeling lately. I have discovered that I think I saw this coming a while ago, but like Amanda I never really brought it up for some of the same reasons. Scared of being alone, scared of how the children will be affected, logistical reasons regarding property, custody, etc. Pulling into holiday, I felt some sort of a sense of relief. I shared that with Amanda and she said she felt the same way. Amanda and I both agree that this whole transition will turn out for the better for both of us. We both have agreed to stay as open as possible about how we are doing. 7:57 p.m. So, Amanda fell asleep on the couch. I gently covered her up with a blanket and turned the light out. Half asleep she called me babe. I really liked it, even if it was only a Freudian slip. 8:29 p.m. Something to work on. I really have to work on not being so curious all the time. Amanda is right. I don't need to know everything about what she's doing and who she's doing it with. I couldn't help it, and I found myself trolling her phone trying to see if there was something I wouldn't want to see. That makes no sense because at this point, even if there was something, it is no longer my place to hold her accountable for her actions. As a matter of fact, I would be willing to bet that that character trait of being nosy and overbearing played a part in her getting to where she is at now. 9:45 p.m. Letting it ride. I gave Amanda a nice long back rub. Then she asked if she could snuggle. It was nice. I'm not going to read into it too much, just going to let it ride. 9:23 a.m. Different but good. Last night Amanda asked if she could sleep in the bed with me and snuggle. I said yes, we snuggled, and it was nice. At this point I still do not want to read into this stuff too deeply, because if I do, I will drive myself nuts with the should have, would have crap. I just want to let things take their own course and try to live for me. The rest I won't include the timestamps because it will get confusing. Today, I got up, took a shower, brushed teeth, styled my hair, put in contacts, and had time to spare. I feel really good. I think I like my new routine. Amanda said she is going to go to Moonshine for some golf with her friend. For some reason I am still trying to hold on to control or something because I immediately started coming up with what ifs. It will take time to be 100% comfortable with her being single. And for me as well. The best thing I can do is communicate like we said we want to make this transition easier for both of us. Part of me is excited at the prospect of new feelings, but there is still a big part of me that secretly wishes that our paths would bring us back together. I have to work on acceptance, going out of town, work. So, I am heading to X next week for training. I will leave Thursday 16th and return Saturday 18th. I'm nervous about going for 2 reasons. 1, I worry that Amanda will go out with friends and have a babysitter watch the kids while she is partying, or bring someone home with her. That prospect is still tough for me to accept, that there will be times when she has a man that she wants to invite over. I need to work through these feelings. Good to bring up at our next counseling appointment for sure. 2, that I will be, for the first time in 11 years, be alone away from home, single and left to my own devices. I am not worried about drinking, but am scared about the idea of going home from somewhere with a woman. What will that feel like? Will I feel remorse? Will it upset Amanda? I know she said that she would not be upset if she saw me out on a date, but reality can oftentimes be very different than our perception of it. Or maybe I just want her to be where she would get upset, cause that would mean that she still has romantic feelings for me. I know that I am still at a point where, although I love Amanda and want her to be happy, I would still be upset knowing she is on a date and I wouldn't even need to see it happening in person. I know that, for me, even though I have chosen to accept how Amanda feels, and will need to work on improving that acceptance, as I know that will also help me with the on a date thing as a side effect. Dan was right that the mind can trick you into feeling a certain way when the reality is different. I need to keep that concept in perspective. I cleaned the entire first floor today. Part of it was to impress Amanda, but another part did it because it just needs to be cleaned. Amanda was happy that the house was clean. We were talking about things and she said that she doesn't want a divorce, but on the other hand she cannot help that she still doesn't feel a romantic connection with me. I know that this can't happen overnight, so for now I am just not making expectations, just trying to do what feels good to me. For me, I have to remember that while I want to try and rekindle our relationship, I have to make sure not to come in too strong, and trying to figure out how to flirt with her. But since we have been together so long, it's kind of difficult to make it fresh. Today feels kind of unsure for me, and Amanda too. A date, love. I asked Amanda if she would want to go on a date with me on Valentine's Day. She said she would think about it. That felt weird, but I have to be willing to accept that she may actually say no, although I hope she says yes. I want to serenade Amanda. My plan was to do it on Valentine's Day. I have been practicing it, but am nervous about how Amanda will receive it. My primary reason is to give of myself to her, just something to show her I care. Part of me wants to impress her, kind of like the same vibe as the Maxwell incident when we first met. Maybe I'm just hanging on to the past, or maybe I'm longing for that feeling again. I think it's the second one, and that is what Amanda is doing too. Is it too much? Is it too soon? Amanda told me she still gets butterflies, just not for me anymore. It is difficult for me because I know how those feel in me and what that means about how I feel about her. I know she wishes that someday she can get that back because she tells me that, but for her she doesn't know when that would be. I kind of feel like I'm being held hostage by her distant attitude about all of this. At one point I felt exactly like Amanda does now toward me. For me, at some point I made a conscious decision to work to get myself to a place where I felt the butterflies again. That desire, that spark, that romantic feeling. It took time, but for me it was worth it. I had a great time catching up with an old friend from the past. She has been through the same thing, so it was nice to be able to relate. We sat here for a couple hours just playing catch up and talking about our kids and life after marriage. Don't get me wrong, I want Amanda, but I haven't been able to have a stimulating conversation like that for a long time. I did text Amanda and told her that Stasi was over. And why? Her first response was nothing physical in the bed. I thought that was kind of tacky. What was unexpected though was she started to text flirt with me, trying to probe for info on her. Then out of nowhere she said she was heading home to drop off the truck and let Brina drive. I'm pretty sure she was trying to check up on me. Part of me relishes in that, although I'm willing to give her time and space, and I want her to want me again. I can't rest idle, as I also need to be mentally and emotionally stimulated too. I took my ring off, but it's in my medallion pouch in my front pocket. Small moves right. Amanda got a ride home from Phil around 1 a.m. She was really drunk, fumbling around with her phone. Then she asked me to help her text Eric. My initial response was, but then I figured, what the hell, I'll do it. Then she pulled down her top and wanted me to send him a pic of her tits. I wasn't comfortable with that, so kind of stalled. I was going to record what she was saying so she could hear herself once she was sober to see how obnoxious she was being. Eventually she got bored with that and headed for bed. I followed, kind of trying to figure out what she was thinking, without arguing with her, which would have been futile while she was drunk. Then she said to me, "You ruined everything." I asked her what she meant by that, ruined tonight, or our whole relationship. She could not come up with a response to that. I then brought up her trying to get me to text Eric, and that was over the line and I didn't agree with that. Then I reminded her how she gets when she's drunk. She then said something that I couldn't quite make out. but it seemed to imply something about us, and now verses later, I said let's do it now. After my talk with Stassi, I decided that I didn't want to beat around the bush anymore, and want to be more assertive with Amanda. Almost a little dominant. Shortly after I said let's do it now, she reached over and started to stroke me. I responded by doing the same. What transpired was a night of aggressive and passionate bonding, in which I was in complete control of Amanda when I wanted to be and giving Amanda control when she wanted it. There was scratching and biting, both hard and soft. There was holding on tightly, bodies close together almost as one. She was seeking out kisses as well. We have a lot of good time. We stopped for a smoke, and during that Amanda mentioned in a slur something like that she was supposed to be sleeping with someone else. I can only assume she meant Eric. I redirected her by flirting and being very attractive about the whole thing. My goal was to give her all of my attention, and it was working. She even returned the attention, and at one point even gave me head. I was not expecting that, or the fact that the way she was doing it was sensual and deliberate. She was enjoying giving me pleasure and I was enjoying giving it back. I think we have both been building up this tension. Her being inebriated most likely played a part in her being receptive to it. But once it started it was obvious. She did not want it to end. I took her all the way to 4:30, at which point she was so exhausted that she fell asleep. I knew this part of me was in here somewhere. I just forgot where to find it. Amanda said yes to Valentine's dinner at Moonshine. I set up a reservation for 6 p.m. Her work has that day blacked out so nobody can pre-request the day off. As long as she's not scheduled, then we're on. Hey baby, Stassi is coming over tonight. Last night was great with her, and superb with Amanda. I still want Stassi to come hangs out as she is intellectually stimulating. I ended up taking a rain check with Stacy. It's right, either cold feet or warm conscience, or maybe a little of both. She asked me out. Love. So right when I was getting off work, Amanda asked me if I wanted to go watch the band at Moonshine. Of course, I said sure thing. I jumped through hoops lining up a babysitter only to find that I didn't have the car seats. Lucky for me, Wendy was able to come over and watch the kids while I went to get Mia. Amanda seems to be acting like she is remorseful about last night. I can't see how, as she was having a great time and had more good time in one night than she has had in our whole relationship. We were connected. It was her in there with me. I was planning to do the serenade on Valentine's Day, but today after the vibe tonight, I felt compelled to give it to her. I calmly said I wanted to give her something of myself. A gift. I told her to put her phone down and to not say anything, that this was just for her. Then I sang Fix You while giving her a foot rub. I was nervous, so kind of shaky. When I was done singing, I paused for a bit and then told her the reason I was nervous was that I was baring my heart and soul to her. Something I haven't done for her in a long time. I said sorry for not doing that. Part of me thinks that Amanda was maybe fantasizing about someone else that night. I got to get those thoughts out of my head. Today is kind of a down day. I have to stay positive. I'm at a place where the things I think or say or do are because it makes me feel good to stand up and fight for what I believe in. Neither of us can change the fact that for a large part of both our lives, those things involved each other. I can't change the past. I can't predict the future. All I can do is what I think is good and right today, and that's why I did what I did for you last night. Amanda, the things I post on my wall are and have never been put there to manipulate a change in anyone's behavior or opinion. It's always been that way for me. If you are reading into it so much, then maybe, just maybe, there is something inside you that really does want us back but doesn't know how to get from here to there. I know what I want, and the hard part is that you won't accept that your physical and emotional well-being are important to me, and all I have ever wanted was for you to feel happy, to feel whole, to know love, and to be strong enough to fight to keep it at all cost. For instance, last night's foot rub was for you, not me, as was the night before that. I may not ever be able to have you back, which is a heartbreaking proposition to consider. That being said, I have a choice in my life: to lay down and hide from what scares me, or to be brave and make the needed effort to fight to keep it at all cost. Last night together, we went out, and I was trying to engage her. She was more interested in texting this Eric guy. I didn't say anything. We went to a few places, same story. Then I found out the reason we were migrating. It's that she was trying to hook up with him. I looked at her text while she was off ignoring me on purpose. She saw that I did that because I left it unread. We argued, and then, in the coldest, most sterile way, she said, "I don't love you and I don't want to try to make it work with you." It's the extreme opposite of how she was acting in the beginning of the week. Which is why I was trying to make an effort. It was late. She refused to ride home with me. I drove. She walked. I have laryngitis from yelling as loud as I possibly could the whole drive home. I broke down in front of my niece, who was watching my kids. Then when she got home, I gave her the third degree for about an hour. I showed her all the love and logic material I brought home, which is specifically designed to help couples in our situation. She said she didn't care. I was in a good place at the beginning of the week and accepted that we would stay separated. Until she gave me the impression that she wanted to try. So I tried, and then this. I'm trying as best I know how. Everything I thought I knew about myself, Amanda, being married, protecting my family from harm has all been turned upside down. It's tough. Essentially, she left me. From my perspective, it's because I was not giving her what she needed. So she moved on, especially knowing we both felt the same and I was willing to work on it and she would rather bail. She's having coffee with that Eric after work. It's a huge ego hit knowing that the woman you love for so long would rather be with a guy that essentially she's only known for a few weeks. The crappy part is that she secretly was able to go through her feelings and get herself ready to move on in the safety of our family bubble. Then when she was strong enough and ready to venture out on her own, that's when she broke the news, leaving me with an emotional train wreck that I have to try to repair all by myself. When Amanda got home from work, she said that she had been thinking a lot about it and has decided that she does want to make an effort to restore our marriage. We both agreed that we would both take small steps. She said she wants to still go out with friends. She said that she would not do any more drunk texting and flirting. I explained that as good. I also told her that I have never had an issue with her having friends or a social life outside of our marriage. This is great news to me for 2 reasons. 1. This shows me that she has been listening to me about my position. 2. She is willing to not be selfish about her needs and wants to be with me. We're going to ask for guidance from our counselor. Also, there is a bunch of focus on the family stuff we can go through together. I agree, and so does she, that we will both need to be honest about our true feelings. We are at least on the same page, which is a good start. I'm confident that if we both put in the effort, we can repair the things we didn't nurture the first time around. One thing both of us will need to do is establish boundaries, both to wrap around our marriage and for our personal lives. We both deserve a level of privacy that neither one of us allowed. This will help foster individuality, as well as personal space. I think that when we both have that, it will allow us to get to want to, instead of supposed to, and help rebuild trust in one another that being together is still by choice. If we both put in real effort and it still ends up that we are still not a good fit, then we will both know that it is real because we at least tried. That is something that I am prepared to accept. I am going to ask Amanda at our appointment if she wants to put the rings back on. For me, having the rings on is a way showing each other that we care and are committed to making it work. Also, it shows others that we are in a relationship, so then there wouldn't be confusion about each other's interaction with people on the outside. I asked Amanda and she said that she is not ready yet. The reason it's that she doesn't really feel like we're married. I'm confident that if we take the counselor's advice and we work on communicating, that we will be able to get back there. Counseling was good today. I learned to slow down, not be so insecure about if people understand what I'm saying. Less is more, and I can just ask if they understand, or just wait for questions. Also, I need to work on my listening skills. Amanda said for me not to say yes all the time, as it makes me look like a pushover. She wants me to be more assertive and take more responsibility for the ins and outs of our household. It is okay to say no. Also, Amanda will work on communicating how she feels instead of keeping it to herself. I will do the same. Also, I will ask if things are okay before acting, like holding hands, kissing. So, our date went great, up until we went up to the bar. Initially our plan was to eat, socialize for a little while, then go home and watch a movie and have some quality time together. Instead, it degenerated into an all-night bender, which is typical behavior these days with her. Amanda had 6-8 mixed drinks and 8-10 beers out more. Through the course of the night, as she got steadily more and more intoxicated, she became more and more distant. She was trying very hard to not be near me, as if being near me made it difficult to have fun. I was being engaging and social with her and the others at the bar. And so was Amanda. At the beginning of the night, she mentioned that this was the best Valentine's Day we'd ever had, but by the end she was standoff, disrespectful, and belligerent. We got there just before 6, and by the time the first diamond was drawn at 8, she was already drunk. I chose to stay with her through the night, to try to have fun, even though I watched her progressively get more and more intoxicated. It was making me uncomfortable, not for my sobriety, but for her well-being. After the last diamond was drawn at 12 a.m., I asked her if she wanted to leave. That's when all hell broke loose. In her drunken condition, she told me that she didn't want me again. She said she wanted to make it work because she didn't want me to feel bad. I told her I don't believe her, and that it felt like there was something else wrong, like she was trying very hard to make up for lost time or something. I told her that she asked me to be assertive, and that's what I was doing. She had simply had too much to drink and it was time to go. I also reminded her that she has acknowledged that she drinks too much and wanted to stop. She was either lying, or simply can't stop once she starts. Either way, it is alcoholic behavior. I should know. I lived it, from euphoria to self-centered self-serving, to totally unable to control it, spiraling down towards a bottom. I hope for her sake that her bottom is much higher than mine, and that she comes back before it's too late. She gets hurt, or worse. Once we got home, I told her I was sorry that I yelled at her, and that I loved her and cared about her. I also told her that the way she was acting was the same way I acted towards her when I was getting nearer to my bottom. That I can recognize it, and am concerned for her safety. She did say I love you as I left the room. I slept on the couch. I am finding it hard to regain trust in Amanda. She says she wants to work at making us work, but she had stipulations. One was that she still wants to flirt with other men, and still text her guy friends. In the past when we were closer, we could do that and still include each other. It felt easy. Now it is different. It doesn't feel the same as before, at least for me. Also, she acknowledged that she drinks too much. To me though, I don't see her making progress to quit. So, Amanda had a long text conversation with Eric last night at the bar. I asked her about it last night and she said she texted him twice. But she was lying. I'm not comfortable with that. I am not sure how to approach her about it though. I was balancing the checkbook and found that in a month, Amanda has spent over $300 at moonshine. This doesn't include cash transactions. This is a lot, too much. I mentioned it to her. She was alarmed, but seemed to be minimizing the issue. Also, she started texting with Eric on January 26th. The best I can gather is that something started bothering her in Jan, and somehow crossing paths with Eric seemed to make whatever that is easier to deal with. Forget about. From what I know of Amanda, when she gets a notion in her head, she seems to plow ahead full steam, oftentimes with disregard of side effects or potential consequences. Another thing about her that is definitely manifesting here is that if someone points these things out, she seems to rebel and, in some cases, amplify out of spite or anger that she was held accountable. This is the stubborn part of her personality. The hard part is that from my experience, Amanda doesn't become aware of the true nature of her behavior until it is after the fact, sometimes too late. At this point I'm more concerned for her physical and emotional well-being than whether or not she stays with me or leaves. I approached Amanda about how much she was texting Eric, and she got mad at me. She is so secretive, and I have trust issues. Hi Eric, this is Rob, Amanda's husband. I have been thinking about texting you for a while now but wasn't sure exactly what to say until now. Amanda told me that you were taking your breakup kind of hard. I just wanted to say I know how you feel. Amanda has probably already told you that although her and I are in a rough spot, we are still married, together, and are trying to work through it because we love each other but have lost that spark along the way. I'm sure you can relate. I just wanted to tell you that I have no problem with you and Amanda being friends. She is a great girl and has always been able to be helpful and give comfort. It's just who she is. I'm sure she is doing some of that with you too, and I hope that it is helping. Amanda is in a place where she is searching for something that she thinks she lost. Part of that I think she is getting from having this friendship with you. She has a tendency to be persistent, forward, and sometimes takes things too far without thinking about it first. That being said, I just ask you, man to man, to not cross over that friend line with her. Things are awkward enough in our marriage without an extra element like that involved. I hope you agree. I sent that text to Eric. Now Amanda thinks I am trying to keep Eric away. That is totally not the case. I just wanted to clear the air and define a boundary that by all rights I think I should be able to have. Frankly, Amanda should as well. You do understand that devoting your time, attention, and emotions to another person while denying those things to me isn't fair. Don't you? You sit in my presence, saying you want to hang out with me. Instead you bury yourself in your phone with him. You tell me drunk last night that you wanted him to sleep over. How do you expect me to react? Do you even remember that? I'm sorry, Amanda, but I will not put up with that from you or anyone else anymore. I care about you, I still love you, and this breaks my heart that this is happening. But I have to stand up for what I believe is right. The way you are acting is not right. You forced my hand. I made it clear to Eric how I feel about you are being friends. He made the decision to steer clear, not me. He is an adult, and made his own decision based on the situation. He is hurting from a broken relationship. Did it ever cross your mind that he has decided that because he knows how it feels, he doesn't want to put himself or you into a position to cause that pain to happen to someone else? Because that's what I see from the outside. You can't see that because you are more emotionally invested in him than you are willing to admit. You don't keep yourself clean. You spend too much time on those stupid helicopters. You're not that good in bed. When you touch me it makes me cringe. And I do remember saying that. If she felt this way for so long, she should have said something. Since I became aware of these opinions, I have been able to change these things. For myself, I wrote this on Facebook after I drove home. Hello again, traveler. Feel free to climb back into this boat with me. I'll need you to tend the sails, help me check for leaks and repair them as they come, grab the map and navigate. I'll do the same, you have my word. We have a voyage to continue. The destination is unknown and there are bound to be perils ahead. But if we hold on tight, batten down the hatches, and secure our fragile cargo, we can make it through them mostly unscathed. We can repair this ship as we go as long as we work together to keep it afloat. For our cargo must come through intact. It will be quite an adventure, full of wonder, excitement, joy, fear, and strife. We will be tested, but we will be better for it. You have been on this adventure before, do you remember? This ship has been docked here for far too long, so I ask you, come aboard with me. Otherwise kindly step back as this ship is about set sail. She said yes. Let's see if it sticks. Amanda read my Facebook post about the fellow traveler. This morning she said she really wants to try, and that she wants to be done with the whole partying thing. I told her that's a good idea as whatever she is doing now doesn't seem very effective. Then I asked her to put her ring back on, and that although right now it may not seem much like we're married, we are going to try to be. And the ring signifies our resolve to make it work. She agreed, and I got down on one knee in our messy living room, with the kids in her lap. I told her that although I may get mad at her, and sometimes not pay enough attention to her or our marriage, that one thing has never changed. That is that I love her and care about her well-being. Then I said for better or worse, richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Then I asked her, do you want to be with me for the rest of your life? She looked at me and said yes. I put the ring in her finger and we smiled together. A real smile that both of us shared, something we have not been able to do for a long time. I told her that it will take a lot of work, time, and attention, but that we will be better for it. She agreed. Now we wait, we work, and we try to grow together past this place we are at. My comment, Part 2 will be right on time tomorrow.